All right. So welcome, Ben. Thanks for taking the time this morning. I want to get straight to your story. Your what happened to you was very inspiring, and I want to just share your journey with others. So, really, the first question, Ben, I wanted to ask you is like, can you share what life was like before we started working together? Like, what were the big challenges you were struggling with that made you come and join Gut Heal?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, John. So I thought I was doing everything right. I thought I was doing the fad diets at the time. I thought I was doing them properly. I explored carnivore. I explored keto. I did loads of intermittent fasting. I took supplementation, so many of which that I thought I was taking the proper dosages at the proper times, and in reality, I was doing all that, but I was in a very stressful state. I was in a stressful state for family reasons, some issues regarding my mother's health. I had a very intense and stressful job with a lot of travel, a lot of budgets and monthly requirements and that need to be met. And I thought I was doing everything correctly health-wise, simultaneously living this stressful life at the time. And in fact, I probably was doing more harm than good, right? So I kind of developed this avalanche of unfortunate issues regarding my health, the eating and the way I was feeling. And then it progressively got worse through the end of 2023, where my sleep was completely and utterly destroyed. I mean, I would sleep an hour at a time. I'd wake up all throughout the night. And this only developed and increased the stress and anxiety at the time. And I knew something was wrong. So it prompted me to go to the normal route, the typical normal route. I went to see a doctor. I got some testing done, and at the time, I was grateful to hear that everything was okay. But I knew that there was something, maybe some issues going on because my sleep was off, food was off, everything like that. So prior to joining you in March of 2024, I thought I was doing everything right, but I ended up wrecking myself up.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It's a story that I hear quite frequently. You go on social media and you're going to start seeing so many perspectives and so many, inputs from different people, clinicians, doctors. It's kind of hard to guide yourself and figure out, why I'm having these symptoms, I'm having these issues. What is really the true root of this? Is there something that I'm missing? Is there something that I'm not addressing? So, the question, that kind of dovetails perfectly into this next part is like, how did you feel about your health issues at that point emotionally? Like, how was it really affecting you in all aspects of your life?
100%. It was, yeah. I mean, it was every waking moment at one point because I wasn't getting enough rest. I thought I was doing everything right. I was eating properly. I was taking supplements that I thought would help, but in reality, I was. I didn't follow a legit protocol. I would go on health Twitter and health Google, and you get all these different opinions and advice. But in reality, you can't do this stuff on your own. You got to. You need some, a protocol. You need a strategy to attack it, and that's thankfully what happened when I reached out to you. You know what I mean? You just need some sort of strategy of what to do. It becomes very simple, right? But you can't do it on your own,
Yeah.
And then
so
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you. I mean, was there a specific moment, Ben? You were mentioning like you realized you couldn't do this alone. Like, what was the specific moment where you said, I've exhausted everything. I need to find somebody that could help me with this. Like, was there a specific moment that was like, I need to do something immediately?
When you lack sleep and a substantial amount of sleep, after a while, there's going to be a breaking point. And my sleep was absolutely wrecked. For some reason or another, it was wrecked, whether it was the stress or whether it was my metabolism or my digestion issues. It was absolutely wrecked. And my, doctors wanted to put me on sleeping pills, go talk to this person, go talk to that person. And I didn't want to do any of that because I know that wasn't going to fix it. I needed to fix it. I needed some guidance on how to do so. I needed a protocol, and I had been following you for a number of years, and I really enjoyed and appreciated everything you were posting and stuff like that. I could relate to it. I think we have similar backgrounds where I can relate to where you came from, and and I needed that guidance. So.
Perfect. And that's inspiring, man. I mean, you have to give yourself the credit. We know what we know. We have a lot of tools at our disposal, but sometimes it makes things so much easier when you get to speak to someone like myself who's been in your shoes, whose sleep has been wrecked, who was very anxious, depressed. I've walked your shoes, and so I know and I can relate to what you're going through. And sometimes, in my own healing journey, it was very difficult because I didn't have anyone. So I try to be the person for you guys to, help you succeed and help you not go, bang your head against the wall like I was during my own healing journey. So it's really inspiring. And I mean, that makes me, want to ask you the question, like, what was, did you have any hesitations prior to joining Gut Heal? How did you overcome them? How did you feel comfortable in knowing that I was going to be the one to give you the solutions?
The hesitations I think I had initially were the fact that I was under the impression that I was already doing everything properly, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you go on health Twitter and you have a lot of different people posting stuff, at the end of the day, they're all good. Right.
Yeah.
they're all leading us in the right direction with how to take care of ourselves and our bodies. Right. Yeah. But as individually, we each have different ways for us to heal and stuff like that. Yeah. So, instead of consuming all of this stuff from everybody, you have to really dial it down and individually support yourself.
Absolutely.
Right. So, I mean, that was the reason why I had reached out to you, like I had mentioned before.
Excellent. And so, I mean, adding to that, Ben, like, what was the most surprising thing that you learned or experienced during Gut Heal and us working together?
I think the most surprising thing, is. You need a strategy. It's ultimately simple, right? But you need, to be put on the right track, right? You can't
adding to that, like, did you know prior to us working together how much effect your gut was having on your mind and on your sleep? Like, did you make that connection previously, or was that something that you learned together that you learned with me? Like,
like I had mentioned before, you get this fad diets and you get this carnivore diet, for example, and that works for a short period. That works, but then again, if you do that for an extensive period of time, it doesn't. It actually could potentially cause more harm than good, depending on who you are and where you're coming from, right? Yeah. So I knew of the gut connection, but you still need. Everybody's their own person, right? And we're individuals. So, you think you're doing the right thing. There's a gut-brain connection from learning yourself and researching yourself, but you do need guidance. And you actually, after joining your protocol and Gut Heal, you learn. I guess you're put on a path where you learn it really intensely to you specifically, right?
Yeah.
You're put on this protocol. You go through certain, reactions and results, and you just see progressively how things just start to get better. You know what I mean? You might go through some sort of reactions and stuff like that, but it's part of the process. And
right. So, and after you went through these hurdles and ups and downs, and cleaning up process where the body was clearing out things that didn't need to be there anymore. I know in your case, we had talked about, you had been exposed to mold in your house that you didn't know was there. And then you noticed the symptoms came back. It became worse after that renovation that you did at your house. Were there any, during this process of us working together and going through Gut Heal, were there any moments that you remember were very, very tough? And, how did you navigate through those, or how did you overcome those and feel like you were able to keep going?
Yeah, no, I think initially, for me particularly, I was already trying to supplement myself, right? But I wasn't doing it properly. So now I'm being put on this very, very good medical grade clean supplements, right? It's what you use.
Yeah.
So initially, it's a little intense because it's you think, it could be intense because, I mean, from what you read about, and I did a lot of research, and you're put on it, and you're trusting it because you want to get better, and and as you get better, there might be some sort of reactions, which we discussed, because it's your body just naturally cleaning itself out. And I think just understanding that and what's to come, like, your body's doing exactly what it needs to do to get better, and your body will do exactly what it needs to do to get better. We're just probably helping it, not probably, we are helping it with these really good protocols that you had put me on. So I guess to answer your question, the hurdles were that, yes, my body was reacting slightly, thankfully, to this protocol, but having that in the back of my head saying, all right, this is part of the process. You get through it, and you did. I did personally, right?
Exactly.
And thankfully, some people may react a little bit differently. I did have reactions, but at the end, it was all good. So
absolutely,
I jumped those hurdles.
You toughed them out, and you came out stronger. It's really about relieving the burden off the body. My philosophy behind Gut Heal is, your body can heal itself. It just needs the right environment to do so. So we have to, and in my opinion, the environment that's most affected, that causes a lot of these upstream issues, whether it's cognitive, such as sleep, or where what's going to be with relaxation in the nervous system, a lot of the times that stems from an imbalanced gut microbiome. Your gut and your brain, you mentioned before the gut-brain connection. They are very much intertwined, and there's many other systems that are related to gut health. So, it's you worked on this important foundational aspect of your well-being, and that's why now things, you had to go through the valley of the shadows and go through your trials and tribulations to overcome this and really relieve yourself and clean out these poisons from your body. But then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, your body realizes, I'm not fighting this battle anymore. I can repair, I can heal, I can thrive. And that's really the whole point of, gut health and Gut Heal, is to remove that burden off the body. So that being said, I mean, Ben, now that you've gone through Gut Heal, you've done all this work, like, what have you noticed in your, what are the big changes you've really noticed in your life since you completed Gut Heal? How is it affecting your day to day? Like, what's the big changes that you've experienced throughout this whole time together?
Well, I mean, I'm sleeping again, which is number one, right? It's key. But I mean, it's amazing, to touch upon too what you said before. It's truly a beautiful thing what your body's capable of, right? Regardless of where anybody is at in their health journey, your body is amazing. Every single day, your body wants to repair itself and is repairing itself. You just got to allow yourself to do it. You got to trust yourself to do it. There's going to be a little bit of growing pains in that. And honestly, what I've learned after this 6 month protocol, this whole entire journey with you, is how amazing our bodies truly are when put on the right track and fed properly and taken care of properly. How in control we truly are. Right? It doesn't have to be so strict and so regimented. I mean, it really is just a beautiful, relaxing dance through life. You know what I mean? I mean that. And if I could tell anybody, and I have told the people closest to me, like, it's amazing. It's amazing what your body is fully capable of. Every single day, your body wants to heal. And if you kind of get on that horse that your body is going on, and you can heal. You can really heal.
Absolutely. You know, I like to imagine the metaphor I imagine when I think of this is like our body, when it comes to vitality and health, our bodies are going to always be climbing up the mountain. It's a giant mountain that we have to climb that, you know, we might not ever reach the peak, but we always try. Our bodies will always try to reach this peak. So with gut heal, and what I try to do is, you know, when a lot of people, when they're coming in, their health is struggling. It's like they have a lot of gear that they're holding. They're holding a lot of weight, and they're trying to go up this hill and go up this mountain, but it's just so heavy and it's so difficult. So when you heal your gut and you start clearing out the waste and clearing out the toxins that are weighing you down, it's like you're emptying out that gear, and then all of a sudden you can start climbing up that mountain of vitality much quicker. So that's the principle behind gut health and gut heal, is to remove the burden off the body so that it continues on the journey that it wants to reach, which is vitality and health, but it does it in a much more efficient manner. And that's what you've noticed over this time is, you know, you're still going up this mountain, but it's a lot easier, and there's a lot less of those slips where you're falling down and you think you're making progress, but then you take 3 steps forward and then 10 steps back. You know, that's what ends up happening. That's what I tend to see a lot with people who come to see me. So I'm really happy for you. Honestly, it's fantastic.
No, thank you. No, thanks to you, John. And honestly, in the event that you do take 3 steps back, or you do struggle a little bit, I think after going through the gut heal, you know exactly what's going on. You know, I mean, you know, you're intuitive, and you learn how to read your body and your signs, you know, and, you know.
That makes a lot of sense. I think the other thing I wanted to ask you, Ben, in regards to that was, you know, overall, like, how has this affected other areas of your life, like your relationships with your family, your daughters, your work, your confidence? Like, how have you noticed healing your gut and doing this deep work has changed all these things for you?
You know, in terms of family, you know, when you're going through some issues, some health issues, you notice that you're much more irritable, you know, and, you know, with small children, that's not the best, that's not the best place for them. So you want to kind of get out of that as soon as possible. So, you know, in terms of when you're in a good place, you know, everybody benefits from that, you know, within my family. So
Excellent, man. I'm happy to hear that. And I think, you know, we're almost done here. I think there's a couple more questions that I wanted to ask you, but the first one that I would want to ask you is, like, if someone feels overwhelmed or kind of skeptical about gut health, what advice, you know, after having done what you've done already throughout this whole protocol together, what advice would you give those people who are skeptical about their health issues stemming from a potential gut health issue?
You know, I would let them, and I've had this conversation with some of my closest friends and family. You know, like I mentioned before, your body's completely capable to heal itself and repair itself. Going into something like gut heal is, to me, most important, because you're getting that, you know, that strategy on you specifically, right? So a lot of times, a lot of us want to do things on our own. We want to, you know, we don't want to spend a little bit of money, or we don't want to spend a little bit of time. We think, okay, I read something on Reddit or Twitter, let me do that. And then, no, you need guidance. You just need guidance. It's going to be a, you know, one-time guidance, and that'll set you free for the rest of your life.
That's it.
Right. You know, because you get a specific targeted approach to you and to how you feel and your body, and it'll put you on a path where you'll be able to live. And at least this is how I feel, and I've been feeling this now for the last couple of months after the protocol. You know, you're in complete and total control. The problem is you got to get on board at first. You know, nice and easy. Just get some guidance, feel things out, You know what I mean? You know, your advice on diet and what to consume, you know, you're able to determine what's good for you, what's not for you. I mean, the supplements, you know, all natural, clean stuff, but like really, truly like medical grade,
Yeah.
you know, good stuff. And that only like it said, it's supplementing your steps to better health. Yeah.
That's it. You know, it's all about foundations. It's all about building a good lifestyle that applies to who you are as an individual, not putting people into these boxes and telling them this is how they need to live. I'm really about sovereignty. I want, you know, that was the goal in Gut Heal for you, Ben. And clearly you're perfect and a prime example of what it means to be health sovereign and really overcome a health challenge and realize the internal power and capabilities that you have and that your body has to self-heal. So it's all about just tapping into it. And then once you tap into it, you understand that it's all possible and that you can use specific tools like supplementation and herbs and different, you know, these herbs that people use are in the supplements are should be considered a cherry on top of the sundae to good nutrition, good habits, good lifestyle. You know, the supplements work great. And when you use powerful supplements in the right way, they can make all the difference and they really will fast forward the process. And that's why you felt really good very quickly. But, you know, we have to look at the big picture. And I think that you've clearly embodied that in this whole process, man. And, you know, I'm really appreciative of you. You know, you have to give yourself the big credit here. You committed to the process. You were patient. You took the time that was necessary. You believed it was possible for you to heal. You did the work and you committed. And that's why, you know, it's come to fruition of whatever you've achieved. Your sleep is back. You know, you're feeling like you could be a present father that's in a better mood and you know, could be a better person overall in all aspects of your life. So it's very inspiring. And I would like to thank you and congratulate you on all this hard work because you deserve it all. And like you said, now you have the tools in your toolbox and you know exactly what you need to do to succeed and continue to thrive long after you're done Gut Heal and you've done the work with me, right? Like that's why I do what I do. I want you to leave this experience empowered and understand that you having vitality and feeling your best is really in your own hands. And you've clearly embodied that, Ben. So thank you for taking the time and sharing your beautiful story. And, you know, congratulations on what you've achieved in all this time together. And, you know, it's been months since we've ended this and you're still doing very, very well. So I'm really happy to hear that. And I appreciate you sharing your story with us.
No, and I thank you, John, and thanks to you for making it happen. Right. I just want to also share that I think a lot of this applies to everybody, both male and female, but a lot of us guys kind of suffer silently, right? When we're going through some medical stuff and we don't really want to show it but I mean, if I could say anything to anybody, whoever this reaches out to and it applies to, is like just knowing that regardless of where you're at, you could be in the darkest, deepest parts of hell. I mean, there's a way out of it, man. And if with proper guidance, you can get out of it. You could feel unbelievable every single day. Yeah, of course, there's going to be step backs and whatnot, but you know now how to manage those. You know, and it doesn't have to be so strict and so regiment, but it's a beautiful process. And I think if you're at any struggle, whether just small or big, a little guidance could set you on the right way.
Excellent, Ben. Thank you very much. And I'll speak to you soon. And again, anybody listen to this, Ben is a prime example that you can take control of your health. You can transform your life just by healing your gut. And, you know, it's one piece of the puzzle, but it really makes a difference. And Ben is a prime example that you don't just need to be struggling with digestive issues to deal with your gut and achieve, you know, the dream life and the dream health that you're looking to achieve. So thanks again, Ben, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, John.